So something happens at a funeral, and this prophet, it's a vendor prophet, starts talking funny things, starts saying things, and he becomes verified. Listening to a man who claims to be a preacher of the gospel, talking to an audience that's potentially not saved. And he almost sounds like he's commanding them to go and do whatever ritual practices that they want. Yeah, if there's ritual practices that you guys do that are unbiblical, yeah, go ahead and do them. This prophet, by the way, did this. Not long after that, he got into very dodgy business and he got arrested. And I think till date he's still arrested because of his cunning behavior when he was out there. But I thought it was interesting that he did this funeral, and he went and he did all other things. But before that, he went and he did this funeral. And he said things that are unbiblical, claiming he's saying them by the authority of the scripture. There's a video that I'm doing after this, talking about the authority that the scripture gives a pastor or a minister. And I thought it was quite interesting. Structurally, show with the daily Christian commentary videos. My lights are off, and so if you can hear that, it's the power station ramping up. I think it's about to die. So I better record, and you guys get your video. So what was this pastor saying? I left to do a little bit of interpretation here, and we'll get back into it. So this is the video here. So this is the pastor. His name is Morito. Morito right now is still in jail because of a charge that he was given. And then later on, that charge that landed him in prison, the girl who had the statement for that charge got killed. So now he's in even for deeper problems. So now he says, you know what? Some people, they get into all these African practices, whether be it that they're via Uruba, like, you know, I don't know. How do you say Uruba? They pay their homage to the dead or to the tradition, something along those lines. So if somebody does that, let them do it. If you don't believe it, let it be that. Wait. So if you don't believe, don't believe. But for those that do, let them do it. A pastor is encouraging that. So the money that's left in this entire thing, let it buy a black goat. And then let those that want to do this paying homage issue go ahead and do it. Have you ever heard a pastor preaching this? He says, give me a hand, I speak the truth only. Is it the truth?
Hallelujah.
So why am I saying this? That in this family you might find someone who doesn't go to church. He believes in ancestral worship. So you, because you don't believe, you restrict them, and then the ancestors bother that person who should have done it. The prophet is encouraging. He's encouraging ancestral worship. Continue. Believes in ancestral worship. So you refuse for them to do it. The ancestors bother that person and their child.
Zvino arasa tendi kaurwedziwe. Vomanya vate mshumo wavo.
There's mine, it's like the sangoma, so you call it. And so so if a person is not a believer, let them go ahead. Sangoma does what it does.
Ritani Bulat. They went in the Nichipolida. But then
those who are crying, they can go on crying and so forth. Now, I don't know what funeral this was, but it's very, very interesting how a preacher at a funeral speaks for both. How does that even happen? Now, so what is your biblical position on ancestral worship when you are speaking for it? And then what is your biblical position for the one who is a believer? If you are still speaking for it. What's your position at all? Do you have a position at all? Very, very confusing, people. You will notice in this day and age, there is a lot. I repeat, there is a lot of individuals. I can't display my thingy. I hope it don't go. It lead back. I hope it doesn't go. And so there is a lot of confusion in the church this day and age, because a lot of pastors have shown themselves to be unreliable pertaining what the scripture tells them to do. And you will see 2 Timothy chapter number 3, verse number 1. This know that in the last days perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of themselves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers of God, of course, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, so lack of remorse basically, truce breakers, false accusers, in contempt fears, despisers of those that do good. They'll hate anyone that speaks the biblical truth. And so despisers of those that do good, traitors, heady, very proud, high-minded, lovers of pleasure more than lovers of God, having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. It says, for of this sort which they crept into houses, led women into all kinds of sins and whatnot and stuff like that. Captives, basically, led away with diverse lust. He says, ever learning but never coming to the knowledge of the truth. See that point there? That's the one I wanted. Ever learning but never coming to the knowledge of the truth. There's individuals who are like this. There are people who you forever give truth, but they seem as if it just bounces on their ears and goes the opposite way. Even if you fully explained it, it's like they just hear it and it just passes. It hits their ears, it passes. It's like they do not hear what you're saying. This is the kind of a generation we have now. A pastor at a funeral. A pastor stands for one particular thing, but this time the pastor decided to be also the voice of the ancestors. He says, yeah, if anybody does those, let them do it so that he doesn't get troubled by spirits. So wait, so you believe that there is spirits that are thingy, and then that very same person will go to his church and say that it's casting out a demon, while he was there saying there are spirits that are going to torment someone. Now, instead of preaching the gospel about particularly that, or to say, hey, we need to talk to you about that, no, there is no doctrine for him to present. There is no theology for him to present. There is no biblical anything he's going to present. Yeah, let them go ahead and present that, lest the demons torment them. Ever learning. So ever learning doesn't just mean people that are you teach them the same thing, they go back to the world. Ever learning, there is like 3 groups in ever learning. The first group are people that you will tell them something. They don't listen, like at all. They are not hearing you at all. You couldn't tell them anything. You could not tell them anything. They are ignorant. You say it right here 100 times, they won't hear nothing. That's the first group. Number 2 group in ever learning. It's someone you will teach, they don't have a follow through pertaining that thing. Today you will teach them something on salvation. He hears something else. He comes back to you and he wants to learn exactly that very same thing. You give him not just the answers, but you give him the arguments and why the arguments don't make any sense. He goes back, he learns something else. Sometimes it's not even answers that actually answer the previous one. They mostly don't answer. They just find new answers, new questions. And they keep this round thing. You see, there's individuals like this. When you see an individual like that, that's an ever-learning person. There's a problem. There's stubbornness that's going on. The stubbornness. There are people like that. They're stubborn. They're not listening biblically. They have their own thing that they are thinking about, or their own thing that they actually care about, that you are not hearing or that they are not saying. And so they will keep asking the same thing until they correct that wrong assumption biblically. What you are teaching them will never go in. Second group of ever learning. Second group. Third group of ever learning. These ones are pitiful. They are Christians. They are enlightened. They have heard the gospel. They'll sit and listen to you, and they immediately switch topic. Christian, I'm not talking about non-believers. These non-believers, you will talk. They're just waiting to answer you. They don't care what you are saying. They're just waiting for you to finish so that they can answer you. But then there is Christian who will listen and will never answer. These ones are very popular. They'll never answer that thing that you think, because you see, they don't have an answer. They are only waiting for themselves to have a position where they can answer. So their silence is not because they understand. Their silence is because they don't have an answer. They're waiting for someone to come and tell them. So the moment, how will you know that this person is never learning? You see, when you teach them that thing, they don't have the question immediately. They'll go hear something, then they'll come back, hey man, last time you said. It means that someone told them something. That's that person ever learning. There's a demon troubling that person. Yeah, it's a demonic attack where a person is going in circles with information. That's what the Bible means when it says that the birds of the air came and took. That's what it means. It took what? The word. The birds of the air. So the moment you teach the person, something comes, and then the person has another theory or something like that. They have someone. Just if you are that type of a person, be very careful. Be very, 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 very careful. That is a very dangerous crowd to be or to find yourself in, where you are now that type of an individual. This deserves a video by itself. If you find yourself in that position, that's exactly where I was, by the way. If you listen to the podcast that I did with the Saint Twins about my journey and struggles in theology, you'll hear that's exactly what was happening. I'll learn something here, then someone else comes and teaches me something here, all about attendance and fellowship. I learned something here, someone wants to teach me something else. I learned something, someone teaches me something else. And it was this whole cycle. It just kept going and going. This particular position, it's not that you don't know. This position means you have heard enough of the argument, and as a matter of fact, you now have the answer. Now you have the answer. So now, It's now a matter of I'm sticking with this. It's not whether to take this person and then have them debate. No, it's you putting your foot down and saying, this is what I personally now believe. A lot of people find themselves in that circle. But the worst part of you, when you now see this ever-learning thing, and someone teaches you something, all of a sudden someone just comes. It's not a mistake. Appointed by the devil. Someone teaches you something true. Someone just pops up and interrupts. Now, don't undermine it. Sometimes you can be taught something false, and then someone you don't know comes and teaches you the correct thing. So it can happen the opposite. So you just have to be very vigilant of which one you are encountering. This is a very crucial point. Every person must discern where are they at the point. Do they now have all the answers? Have you heard all the arguments pertaining all these questions that people ask? For some people, you make it worse because after hearing everything, you still live as an individual who doesn't know. Meaning you still listen to this person as if he has the truth, and this person as if he has the truth. When you know this one is lost. You see, now you are now putting yourself in that ever-learning curve. That's a very dangerous choice you make. So really be very careful. So you see what he's just done. It's a very weird thing, but you can see where it has landed him. This position of playing with truth is very dangerous. We're going to just titty-table, stand in the middle. Both ancestral and the God, both can be true. Both can be true. If you want to do this because you don't want ancestral, you don't want problems of the... Which one do you stand with? So why would you advocate for the other one? It doesn't make sense. Striggy, tell me your thoughts down in the comment section, and I'll see you on a later on episode. It's a red flag. But it's a red flag that even he failed to see. Now, his falsehood has landed him where he is.